Amid the escalating conflict between Ukraine and Russia, a major decision has just been made. The United States has announced a final $3.4 billion military aid package for Ukraine. This is a remarkable move, not only because of the size of the aid package but also because it comes at a time of heightened tension in the war. With Russian forces increasingly attacking infrastructure in civilian areas, the aid package not only demonstrates the United States' unwavering commitment to Ukraine, but also reflects the country's urgent needs amid the increasingly dire situation. Breaking down the $3.40 billion aid package. In a significant development reported in the latest news on Ukraine, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen announced the final military and financial aid package under the Ukraine Security Supplemental Appropriations Act of 2024. This new disbursement is a crucial step in the ongoing U.S. support for Ukraine, totaling nearly $5.9 billion. The package is divided into two key components, approximately $2.5 billion in security assistance and $3.4 billion in direct budget support. The security assistance aims to bolster Ukraine's defense capabilities, including long-term air defense supplies, enhancements to artillery systems, and critical weapon system support. These efforts are focused on providing Ukraine with the tools necessary to strengthen its position on the battlefield. On the other hand, the direct budget support is coordinated with USAID and the State Department to ensure the continued functioning of essential government services. This financial aid is primarily allocated for the salaries of teachers, civil servants, and other state employees, while also supporting key reforms in law enforcement, government transparency, and anti-corruption measures. This final disbursement brings the total U.S. budget assistance to Ukraine to nearly $30 billion since Russia's invasion in February 2022. It highlights the significant increase in support over time, with U.S. military aid alone reaching $61.4 billion during the same period. Additionally, this aid package follows a broader international initiative, with the U.S. contributing its portion of a $50 billion G7 loan to Ukraine. This strategic shift in funding, which includes proceeds from frozen Russian sovereign assets, signifies a coordinated global effort to help Ukraine withstand the ongoing conflict. The delivery of this aid is being expedited, with the Department of Defense implementing a modified approach that allows for transfers to occur in days rather than the usual weeks-long process. Recent data indicates that funding is expected to extend through the summer of 2025, with monthly disbursements averaging $569 million over the last 4 months. The U.S. is also delivering significant quantities of artillery rounds and armored vehicles to Ukraine. To ensure the proper distribution of aid, enhanced oversight measures are in place, including 3 independent inspectors general and a team of over 250 personnel. Additionally, 45 State Department staff members in Kyiv are overseeing and inspecting the delivery of assistance, ensuring transparency and accountability in the process. Strategic timing of U.S. support. This rigorous oversight is especially crucial given the strategic timing of U.S. support, which reflects a direct response to Ukraine's urgent defensive needs amid the intensifying Russian offensive. Recent Russian operations, particularly targeting the Kharkiv region with escalating cross-border fires, have increased pressure on Ukraine, highlighting the importance of timely and well-managed aid to bolster its defense capabilities. In response, the U.S. has expedited its aid delivery mechanisms, with the Department of Defense implementing a strategy of pre-positioning aid supplies to enable rapid deployment once congressional approval is granted. This approach has proven crucial, especially as European allies stepped in to ensure the continuity of supplies during temporary gaps in U.S. funding. The protection of critical infrastructure has become a priority, with the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, committing nearly $1 billion to repair and modernize Ukraine's energy infrastructure. This initiative aims to safeguard essential services for approximately 7 million Ukrainians, and includes emergency energy response procurement, integration with European energy systems, expert engineering support for reconstruction, and technical assistance for construction planning. Furthermore, as part of the broader U.S.-Ukraine security agreement, comprehensive cyber defense measures have been put in place to protect critical infrastructure, particularly energy facilities and government services, from threats posed by both state and non-state actors. With winter approaching, the U.S. has focused on addressing Ukraine's seasonal vulnerabilities, particularly in maintaining heating systems and ensuring a reliable electricity supply to homes, hospitals, schools, and businesses. USAID's efforts not only address immediate needs but also contribute to long-term resilience planning through the Ukraine Reconstruction Support Program. To strengthen Ukraine's cybersecurity defenses during this critical period, USAID has expanded its collaboration network to include more than 75 government institutions, think tanks, universities, and industry associations, which provide cutting-edge cybersecurity solutions to protect Ukraine's infrastructure. Despite the challenging wartime conditions, Ukraine continues to enhance its cybersecurity resilience. With U.S. assistance, a modern industrial-grade security operations center has been established in partnership with Ukrenergo, Ukraine's state-owned electricity transmission operator. This marks a significant advancement in the protection of Ukraine's energy infrastructure, ensuring its resilience in the face of continued Russian aggression. Economic impact on Ukraine. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has had a severe economic impact, with financial data showing a 35% decline in GDP compared to pre-war levels, according to the International Monetary Fund. The latest U.S. aid package arrives at a critical moment, as Ukraine faces significant challenges, including a sharp drop in tax revenue and disrupted economic activities. To address these issues, USAID has committed $22.9 billion in direct budget support, crucial for maintaining essential state operations. This funding helps cover vital expenses, particularly the salaries of public sector employees, allowing the government to continue functioning despite the wartime conditions that have hindered domestic revenue generation. The U.S. support also ensures the continued provision of essential public services. This comprehensive funding structure covers the payment of salaries for teachers, healthcare workers, and civil servants, while also supporting emergency relief programs and safeguarding critical public health systems. The World Bank has projected that Ukraine will need $411 billion over the next decade to address its reconstruction needs, emphasizing the scale of the financial challenge the country faces as it works to rebuild its infrastructure and restore essential services. Despite these challenges, Ukraine has shown resilience, undertaking significant economic reforms. It has notably improved its corruption score, becoming one of the few countries to achieve such progress amid conflict, according to Transparency International. These recovery initiatives are supported by robust oversight mechanisms, with 3 independent inspectors general overseeing assistance programs, more than 250 personnel supporting oversight efforts, and 45 State Department staff members stationed in Kiev to monitor the distribution of aid. International support for Ukraine's reconstruction has also been significant. The European Commission has pledged $55 billion in reconstruction aid through 2027, complemented by an additional $1.3 billion from the United States. This combined effort focuses on rebuilding and modernizing Ukraine's infrastructure, laying the foundation for long-term economic recovery. Furthermore, USAID has expanded its support to include the protection of Ukraine's public health system and investments in the agricultural sector, addressing immediate production and export challenges while fostering long-term resilience. The financial assistance provided is subject to rigorous verification processes, with monthly reports submitted to the U.S. government through the World Bank. This structured approach ensures transparency and accountability, maintaining a steady flow of critical support to Ukraine's economy as it navigates the complexities of wartime recovery. Reform requirements and conditions. The latest U.S. aid package to Ukraine comes with stringent reform requirements, signaling a stronger emphasis on accountability and institutional improvement. The U.S. Treasury has established specific conditions for budget support, focusing on 3 critical areas of reform: anti-corruption measures, transparency, and governance improvements. In terms of anti-corruption efforts, the Biden administration has allocated $339 million for fiscal year 2023, nearly doubling the previous 4-year average. E-reform requirements include the implementation of asset disclosure laws for public officials within 3 months, aligning the Defense Ministry's procedures with NATO transparency standards, enhancing oversight of the State Border Service, and strengthening anti-corruption investigation capabilities. The Department of Justice has expanded its presence in Ukraine, positioning legal advisors to assist local authorities in investigating corruption cases. These efforts have already resulted in the recovery of over $1.7 billion in assets through the Kleptocracy Asset Recovery Initiative. To ensure transparency, the U.S. government has implemented comprehensive monitoring systems through agencies like USAID. These systems include third-party monitoring, independent audits, and real-time tracking of financial transfers. Electronic payment system verification and end-user monitoring protocols are also in place to ensure the proper use of funds. Additionally, the Treasury Department has finalized new rules to increase transparency in financial systems, prevent money laundering, and safeguard against illicit activities. Governance reforms are aimed at aligning Ukrainian institutions with Western standards. Specific improvements demanded by the U.S. government include judicial system reforms, such as the establishment of independent oversight committees, increased court transparency, and strengthening of anti-corruption courts. Public sector modernization is another focus, with reforms aimed at the digital transformation of government services, the implementation of e-governance platforms, and the strengthening of public procurement systems. To support these efforts, the Global Security Contingency Fund has provided $42 million for developing both tactical and institutional capacities, including training, advisory services, and equipment assistance for various government branches. The implementation of key reforms in Ukraine is carefully overseen by 3 independent U.S. inspectors general, supported by over 250 personnel, with 45 State Department staff stationed at the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv to conduct regular inspections and ensure compliance. These monitoring efforts align with broader international standards, including those set by the European Union for Ukraine's potential membership, demonstrating a coordinated approach between Western allies to support Ukraine's defense while driving effective governance reforms. Military defense enhancement. This comprehensive strategy is mirrored in the Pentagon's latest military enhancement package, which provides Ukraine with a $2.5 billion security assistance commitment. The package focuses not only on immediate military needs but also long-term defense enhancements, ensuring Ukraine's ability to defend itself and implement necessary reforms, both in governance and defense capabilities, as part of its broader commitment to European integration and resilience. A key component of this support is the enhancement of Ukraine's air defense capabilities. The package includes 3 Patriot air defense batteries, 12 National Advanced Surface-to-Air Missile Systems, NASAMS, HLK air defense systems, multiple counter-unmanned aerial systems, and 21 air surveillance radars. This robust air defense network has been further strengthened by contributions from international partners, with Germany and Romania providing additional Patriot batteries and the Netherlands supplying crucial system components. This collaborative effort aims to protect Ukraine's skies from Russian aerial threats. In addition to air defense, the U.S. is focusing on critical infrastructure protection. USAID has initiated a $1 billion investment program specifically aimed at bolstering Ukraine's energy sector, transportation networks, agricultural infrastructure, healthcare facilities, and educational institutions. Through the Ukraine Reconstruction Support Program, expert engineering support is provided across multiple sectors, ensuring that Ukraine's infrastructure aligns with European standards. This initiative has already benefited approximately 7 million Ukrainians, improving energy resilience and modernizing key systems. Strategic resource allocation is also a central part of U.S. support. The Department of Defense has implemented an accelerated delivery system to ensure critical military assets reach Ukraine quickly. Current deployments include hundreds of thousands of artillery rounds, thousands of rockets, and hundreds of armored vehicles. The assistance extends beyond immediate needs, with long-term defense planning incorporated into the strategy. Nearly 50 allied and partner countries have contributed significantly to Ukraine's defense, delivering assets such as long-range multiple-launch rocket systems, artillery systems, tanks, and armored personnel carriers. This coordinated international effort has resulted in the delivery of nearly 100,000 rounds of long-range artillery ammunition and approximately 250,000 anti-tank munitions. The United States remains the largest provider of military assistance to Ukraine, with total support reaching approximately $60 billion since Russia's invasion in 2022. The Pentagon's enhanced military package emphasizes sustainable defense capabilities, focusing on the protection of critical infrastructure and the maintenance of operational readiness. Through the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative, USAID, the U.S. has provided $12.1 billion in FY 2023 and $6.3 billion in FY 2022, demonstrating a sustained commitment to strengthening Ukraine's defense over the long term. International coalition support. This U.S. support is complemented by unprecedented international coalition efforts, as NATO and allied nations have mobilized to address Ukraine's immediate and long-term challenges. The Washington Summit in July 2024 marked a pivotal moment in coordinating global assistance, where international partners established new frameworks for sustained support. Together, these coordinated efforts between the U.S. and its allies ensure that Ukraine receives both the military aid and strategic guidance necessary to bolster its defense and recovery, creating a unified front in the ongoing effort to secure the country's sovereignty and stability. The international community's commitment to Ukraine goes beyond short-term military aid and focuses on long-term capability development. NATO's Comprehensive Assistance Package, CAP, has played a central role in delivering critical supplies, including fuel, medical supplies, winter clothing, generators, communication systems, and technical training support. The European Union, demonstrating unprecedented unity, committed €11.1 billion through its European Peace Facility, which includes €5 billion for a dedicated Ukraine assistance fund. This marks the first time the EU has provided lethal weapons to a third country, a significant step in strengthening Ukraine's defense capabilities. The coordination of these efforts is essential for maximizing their impact. The Ukraine Defense Contact Group, UDCHOG, has created 8 specialized capability coalitions involving approximately 30 countries. These coalitions focus on critical defense areas, such as air defense, maritime security, information technology, and ground operations, with key nations leading each effort, including France and Germany for air defense, the UK and Netherlands for maritime security, and Estonia and Latvia for information technology. The International Donor Coordination Center, IDSEC, in Germany has become the central hub for synchronizing security assistance, ensuring that resources are delivered efficiently and effectively. As a result, NATO and allied nations have successfully delivered 178 long-range artillery systems and 359 tanks to Ukraine. In addition to military support, a global response strategy has been initiated, encompassing both immediate needs and long-term reconstruction. The G7 countries have launched an Extraordinary Revenue Acceleration (ERA) loan program worth approximately $50 billion, which includes military capability enhancement through training programs across 24 nations, equipment standardization, and joint defense procurement strategies. In terms of infrastructure development, this program focuses on modernizing critical systems, enhancing energy sector resilience, and rehabilitating transportation networks. NATO's newly established Security Assistance and Training for Ukraine (NASATU) program will deploy 700 personnel to coordinate military equipment and training efforts, led by a 3-star general, marking a significant escalation in NATO's support. Furthermore, the European Council has reaffirmed its commitment to providing continued political, financial, economic, humanitarian, military, and diplomatic support to Ukraine. This multilateral approach has already resulted in the delivery of nearly 250,000 anti-tank munitions and over 8,000 short-range air defense missiles, underlining the depth of international backing. The global community's response extends to comprehensive humanitarian aid as well, with the UNHCR appealing for $803.6 million to support displaced populations. Of this, $550 million is allocated for life-saving assistance within Ukraine, addressing the immediate needs of those affected by the conflict. Together, these coordinated efforts reflect the international community's unwavering commitment to Ukraine's defense and recovery, addressing both security and humanitarian challenges in a comprehensive, multilateral manner. Future aid implications. Looking ahead, the landscape of international support for Ukraine is poised for significant transitions, with the final U.S. aid package of $3.4 billion marking a crucial turning point in the assistance strategy. As the World Bank estimates Ukraine's reconstruction needs at $411 billion over the next decade, the scale of future support required becomes ever more apparent. The immediate transition period presents complex challenges as Ukraine adapts to evolving support mechanisms. The European Commission has committed $55 billion in reconstruction aid through 2027, while the U.S. faces key decisions about future funding allocations. Economic assistance from Western allies continues to be vital for maintaining essential government services, supporting defense capabilities, protecting critical infrastructure, and sustaining economic stability. This ongoing support is crucial during this pivotal period as Ukraine navigates its recovery. Looking toward long-term support, international partners are increasingly focused on sustainable assistance models. The European Union has committed €50 billion for the 2024 to 2027 period, establishing a framework for predictable support, while the U.S. faces challenges in determining its future contributions. The World Bank's 10-year estimate of $411 billion underscores the enormous scale of reconstruction required. However, the aid landscape is not without its uncertainties. Political dynamics in donor countries, particularly in the U.S., pose substantial risks to the continuity of support. Recent polls show a shift in public sentiment, with 41% of Americans expressing concern about the level of aid, up from 24% in 2022. Additionally, electoral uncertainties, fluctuations in congressional support, and evolving public opinion create challenges for maintaining consistent assistance. The U.S. Treasury, however, emphasizes that Ukraine's success remains crucial to American national interests. To mitigate these risks, 3 independent U.S. inspectors, supported by over 250 personnel, provide oversight of assistance programs, while 45 State Department personnel stationed in Kyiv conduct regular monitoring to ensure transparency and accountability in aid disbursements. Furthermore, the World Bank's involvement through rigorous verification processes and monthly reporting ensures continued accountability in future funding. European nations have also significantly increased their security assistance, with the ratio of EUR aid to economic support rising from 28% to 42%. This shift signals growing European commitment to long-term support, which could help offset uncertainty surrounding U.S. assistance. The Ukraine Donor Coordination Platform plays a key role in facilitating international cooperation, ensuring that support delivery remains coherent and transparent. This multilateral approach is crucial for maintaining stability during the transition period and ensuring effective long-term planning. Finally, recent progress in Ukraine's anti-corruption efforts, highlighted by an improved corruption score from Transparency International, further strengthens the country's position in securing future international support. These reforms not only enhance Ukraine's standing on the global stage but also advance its goals of European Union membership, providing a solid foundation for continued international backing. Ukrainian government response. In response to the latest U.S. aid package, Ukrainian officials have initiated comprehensive procedures to implement the $3.4 billion assistance, marking a crucial step forward in Ukraine's ongoing development and recovery. The Ukrainian government has established dedicated task forces to oversee the deployment of resources across key sectors while ensuring stringent accountability measures are maintained throughout the process. The Ukrainian administration has developed a 3-tiered implementation framework to ensure the effective management of the final aid package. This strategy involves close collaboration between the Department of Defense and Ukrainian counterparts, with 45 State Department personnel stationed at the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv to verify and oversee the proper deployment of military resources. In addition to military oversight, the World Bank plays a pivotal role in budget support, implementing a structured verification process that includes monthly financial reporting, independent audits, performance tracking, and compliance documentation. As part of the ongoing reform efforts, Ukraine has made significant progress, improving its position in Transparency International's Corruption Perceptions Index. These achievements strengthen the foundation for continued international support and highlight Ukraine's commitment to systemic reforms, which include anti-corruption measures and institutional improvements. The Ukrainian government has pledged to enhance prosecution capabilities, strengthen judicial oversight, and improve asset recovery mechanisms as part of its broader anti-corruption agenda. Additionally, institutional reforms focus on modernizing public administration, implementing digital transformation in services, and ensuring transparent procurement systems. The resource deployment plans are aligned with both Ukraine's immediate defense needs and long-term development objectives. The government has prioritized the effective use of military resources, with approximately 100,000 rounds of long-range artillery, ammunition, and 250,000 anti-tank munitions successfully deployed. The military has integrated these new capabilities with precision, and accountability measures ensure that all military equipment is tracked and used efficiently. USAID has expanded its coordination with over 75 Ukrainian government institutions, universities, and industry associations to ensure the efficient distribution of resources. This network is crucial for the implementation of strategic initiatives across various sectors, including energy infrastructure protection and agricultural development. The deployment framework sets clear timelines for implementation, with air defense receiving immediate attention, infrastructure improvements set for completion within 30 to 60 days, and economic support and reform efforts slated for further development over the next 60 to 90 days. The government's reform commitments have been implemented in partnership with independent U.S. inspectors general, supported by more than 250 personnel, who conduct regular monitoring to ensure adherence to international standards. These reforms are aligned with European Union requirements, particularly in areas such as judicial independence and public sector modernization. Ukraine's continued progress in these areas has been positively assessed by international monitoring bodies, reinforcing its commitment to European integration. Ukraine has also implemented robust oversight mechanisms for the $30 billion in U.S. budget assistance received since February 2022. Detailed documentation of expenditures, particularly in areas such as salary payments for teachers and state employees, ensures transparency and accountability. The World Bank's involvement guarantees a rigorous verification process, with reimbursements processed only after a thorough review of all documentation. This approach has fortified Ukraine's position in securing future international support and demonstrates a high level of operational transparency. In conclusion, Ukraine's strategic approach to implementing international aid demonstrates a strong commitment to transparency, accountability, and long-term recovery. By leveraging lessons from past experiences and collaborating closely with international partners, Ukraine is building a solid foundation for sustainable growth and reform. As the country continues to navigate these challenging times, how do you think these efforts will shape Ukraine's future in the global arena?